Because what you have failed to consider in your analogy of Sauron saying trans rights is that, did you forget that Sauron was in fact a deceiver? That his role was to deceive.
And there were lawyers at the last minute defending the rapists and whatnot, being like, "Oh, they haven't done their human rights check yet."
Really? A lawyer defending a criminal? Yeah, that's never happened in European society. You know what happens in Minas Tirith, right? Is a fucking immigrant, Gandalf, turns up, uninvited, fucking KOs the steward, and just takes control of the army. Oh, God. I saw this guy has come back from my... Sargon of Cuckmad has come back onto my radar because he was having a go at fucking Stardust, of all people. Loner Box cute, hot to hey, Melody TV. Don't think I haven't noticed. Isn't the lotus like the virginity flower? Wait. Why do I think that? Purity, enlightenment, self-regeneration, yeah. That's suspicious. Okay, whatever.
So recently, my former colleagues, certainly if they don't agree, they can certainly understand.
Chastity.
His choice, of course. You know, it was consistent.
Momentum, Sauron, Owen Joe. God, the Lord of the Rings references are so cringe. Oh my God. I remember on Facebook in like 2013 when everyone was comparing asylum seekers to orcs. And it's this stupid Wired article from like 5 years ago. Is the Lord of the Rings prejudiced against orcs? Yeah, we get it, yeah. Because you think like immigrants are, I don't know, like tortured and like mutilated, created by the Dark Lord creatures destined to destroy all of the earth, yeah. We get it.
Leftist saying that now, am I? Am I? Except you exactly will. That's is made evil by society, right? From his discourse on inequality in part 1, he says,
for all his obsession with masculinity, like over the years, the fact that he's just got this fucking goblin sitting next to him is so weird.
It would seem that because in the state of nature, men have no kind of moral relationships to each other, nor any recognized duties that would be neither good nor evil and could have neither vices nor virtues. Let us not conclude with Hobbes that man is naturally wicked because he has no idea of goodness, or vice-ridden because he has no knowledge of virtue. Savages are not wicked precisely because they do not know what it is to be good. So that's why the orcs aren't evil. They don't know what it is to be good, so we can't call them evil. So, you know, what if they're just evil? But that'd be prejudice. He credits with...
His brain is so fucking small. Like, okay, go on.
And with one natural virtue, pity. It's like, okay, where's the pity in the orcs? Right? And so you see this, you might be like, well, hang on a second, that was written 300 years ago. I'm not going to hear a leftist saying that now, am I? Am I? Except you exactly will. Let's play this clip.
What? Who the fuck is this?
Stardust and aristocracy aren't good people. They're not good people. They're toxic people, and I hate them.
I thought we didn't label people
Who the fuck is this?
good or bad.
Yeah, but they're fucking morally disgusting people. They're bad people.
I thought.
Wait, what did I do?
Anna Voir. Okay.
What the?
So this is just online leftists having a spat in their own stupid little communities where they've been cyberbullying each other and being awful to them. And so they've got to be like, well, look, that person's a bad person. They're morally disgusting. And then we didn't call people good or evil.
Wait, this is one person calling other streamers toxic people and saying she hates them. What is this? What is this evidence of? The fuck?
Why? Why would you not call people good or evil? Who has ever in the
Well, you
history...
don't usually call people good or evil because it's like reductive and like what do you gain from it? Like, is there like how do you define who's evil? How do you determine that? It's also just like a very weak understanding of why people do what they do. Like, people who do very bad things so rarely see themselves as like actually doing bad things. They tend to see the complete opposite. Which is why it's just like it's not a good explanation for human behavior. It never has been. It's black and white. It's like reductive, biblical and shit. Like, yeah. There are lots of reasons people do things, and it's like dividing it into good and evil is like, yeah, it's useless.
history of mankind, other than Rousseau, said that there was a point where man was neither good nor evil? No one.
Yeah.
That's the only place I can ever find this. And so they've returned...
Wait, what did he say?
People good or evil. Who has ever in the history of mankind, other than Rousseau, said that there was a point where man was neither good nor evil? No one. That's the only place I can ever find this. And so they've returned to this position of like the moral state of nature where...
Rousseau is the only person who ever said that people were neither good nor evil. Well, he's the only person that Carl cares about because Carl only cares about like 3 authors. Pretends to have read John Locke and shit, but yeah, okay.
Society is the corrupting force and they bear no responsibility for their own decisions. Even though this person's like, well, look, I just can't accept that. They were acting badly. You know, they must be responsible for the things they do. They can't avoid it. But so this whole line of thought, and this is all leftist thought, assumes that anyone who's successful must be evil in some way because society is the corrupting force. That's what is evil. And so it's what creates the vice. But the thing is, and...
Wait, I thought, is it the people are evil or the society's evil? What the fuck is he talking about? Is he for or against people describing other people as good or evil? I like it how I just said we shouldn't call people good or evil because it's like you shouldn't really paint people with very simple and like very broad brushes. And then he says, "This is the leftist thought. You know, they all think all rich people are evil." Like, just making my argument for me. Like, okay. So, how many stages of reductivism are we at here? So, first of all, you have Carl, who is reductively accusing leftists of reductively calling all the rich people evil. Like, if you'd read like anything of Karl Marx or like any leftist like position on rich people, you'd say that like even if they all behave in a bad way, like you would still say that like the concern of whether or not they're good or evil is completely irrelevant. It doesn't matter. What matters is what kind of behavior do systems encourage.
Let's just be perfectly clear about this, leftists. If that's true of you, if that's true of me, if that's true...
Oh, now he's running with the analogy. Now he's just... Oh, fuck. Oh, no.
Of the orcs, why should Sauron be any different? How could you resist Sauron if he just said trans rights? In the same...
Does he know? Does he know that the Lord of the Rings isn't real? That you can't actually make these analogies because Sauron is a fictional character. You don't need to believe in good and evil to enjoy Lord of the Rings. You don't need to believe in absolute good and absolute evil to invent Sauron. That's why he's a fantasy. That's the whole point. Lord of the Rings is like probably one of the best novels on like one of the best series there is for accomplishing that feat of inventing a fantasy about absolute good and absolute evil, because that's what it was trying to do. But that's the whole point. That's why George R.R. Martin did what he did with Game of Thrones. That's why he made every character ambiguous. Because he thought, well, fantasy does absolute good and evil to the death, right? So let's do a fantasy that captures human complexity. Let's just go the complete opposite way.
Where you wouldn't resist murderous dolls and like the hordes of orcs that are invading Gondor, why should Sauron be any different? Owen. And the thing is, this
Let me ask you this question. If you are so informed about human behavior, well, tell me, friend, what would you do if Sauron said trans rights? You see, it's interesting to me that you have never considered this conundrum. Okay, Carl.
this is such a long-standing.
You know what? I'm just gonna make a leap, right? If Sauron said trans rights, he'd still be evil. You know why? Because Sauron was a deceiver. Bro, like, have you not considered, Carl, that you're Sauron? Oh, sorry. Should I be positioned like his goblin or like him? You see, Carl, it's a very interesting question that you've posed to me, but I feel it's a little bit too Lockean for my taste, because what you have failed to consider in your analogy of Sauron saying trans rights is that, did you forget that Sauron was in fact a deceiver? That his role was to deceive.
Meme, like go and look up hashtag #OrcWatch on your favorite social media platform. You
mean Parler? If I look up Orc-Watch, it's going to be a fucking stream of brown people being like, maybe even just existing. So this is someone getting beaten up. This is like brown people fighting. Okay, we love that. Some of these are actually just pictures of orcs. Wait, what? Diversity is our strength. Oh, is it really? Is it because that's what you think of immigrants? Okay, well, nice. Well, how can you be okay? Oh, look, there was a stabbing. I wonder what color the stabber was. Oh, there was a stabbing. I wonder what color the stabber was. Oh, there was a brown person stabbing. God, you're so subtle, Carl. Oh, look, there's two brown people. God, that's like double the Orc Watch. Okay.
can see this everywhere. Like this, just this constant meme of. Can you get this picture up, John? Just so you see. Like, it's like you guys are the ones who are arguing for those people who come to these our countries and then do terrible things. This is just a constant meme. If we can go to the next one.
I mean, do you remember when we were doing deportations via planes? Like, we were sending a bunch of guys. I think one plane to Jamaica was prolific.
Oh God, look at him. He's doing the meme. This meme is nearly 10 years old. And he's doing it. He's doing this 10-year-old meme about like the idea that leftists would have let the fucking orcs attack Minas Tirith because they'd be afraid of being racist. Like, because, which by the way, this analogy only works if you think that brown people are bred for a single purpose to destroy the world of men, right? You see, Carl, I appreciate your comparison to the orcs of Mordor, but it seems to have escaped your intellectual purview that the orcs were in fact bred for a single purpose, to destroy the world of men. Which particular human demographic are you drawing this analogy in aid of? Because you know what? You know who fought against the orcs? Men. You know what immigrants are? People. They're men, you know? I say men in the fantasy sense, where apparently men is like men and women. But yeah. He's still stuck. He's still stuck in 2014.
For this as well.
Yeah.
Had like a couple of murders on it, a bunch of rapists, and there were lawyers at the last minute defending the rapists and whatnot, being like, "Oh, they haven't had their human rights checked yet."
Really? A lawyer defending a criminal? Yeah, that's never happened in European society. Why the fuck is this guy talking like an orc? I'm sorry. Like, why is he talking about orcs? He has no right. Where are they going to cast you for? What are they going to cast you as in a fucking Lord of the Rings film? Jesus.
They're convicted. We're sending them back to Jamaica.
That's literally it.
There were people jumping in front of the planes to stop the planes from leaving.
We know they've done something wrong.
Yeah, the Rohirrim were immigrants and they saved Minas Tirith. Yeah.
Yeah, but, and it's like, yeah, but you're saying they weren't really responsible for that. Society made them do it. That's what you're saying. You know, the vices are only because we are civilized men and these uncivilized men have no vices. So it's totally wrong. And of course, all of their rhetoric, we can get this picture up as well, it fits perfectly with any kind of left-wing rhetoric. You know, discrimination at Minas Tirith, xenophobic inhabitants openly admit that orcs aren't welcome there.
How could the men of the West do this?
Yeah, exactly.
Why is he talking about it like it's a real story? Can you believe what's happening here? They're accusing the brave soldiers of Gondor of discrimination at Minas Tirith. Holy fuck. God damn it. You see, Carl, given the very obvious xenophobic rhetoric marinating in your little dialogue here, you are aware that it was the immigrants, in fact, the riders of Rohan, who immigrated to Minas Tirith to rescue the world of men.
Exactly. How could
Gandalf was an immigrant to Minas Tirith, and they allowed him to lead the charge against the orcs, which leads me to believe that you are, in fact, okay with Sadiq Khan being the mayor of London. Imagine, like, you know what happens in Minas Tirith, right? Is a fucking immigrant, Gandalf, turns up, uninvited, fucking KOs the steward, and just takes control of the army. How wrong can you be? How bad can you be at drawing analogies? What the fuck? Yeah. Fucking yes. Minas Tirith rescued by immigration. And not only that, they didn't have a immigration procedure. They didn't have a points-based system. Fucking Pippin just gets promoted to a guard of the Citadel. And they give him a nice fucking, put him in the fucking highest room of the tallest tower. They give him a fucking, the uniform that used to be owned by the steward's son. I don't know. I think Sargon is like accidentally supporting immigration here. Not only that, he actually wants the defense secretary to be a brown person.
could they do this to our perfect orcs who are running around getting convicted for murders? You know, it's unbelievable. And you see this rhetoric exactly in Momentum. Right, let's go to the next one. This is just their pinned tweet. Breaking. Conservatives' new bill would give them the power to deport 2 out of 5 non-white people in England and Wales. This race.
What the fuck does this have to do with good, like, with good and evil or orcs? What the fuck? Like, this is because the argument here is that deportation should not be like a criminal penalty. It's not for white people. Why should it be for immigrants? Like, that's it.
Racist bill must be opposed. Well, because illegal immigrants would get deported.
But there are plenty of white ones as well.
Yeah.
They're not mentioned.
Who said it was about illegal immigrants? What? What if it was like the child of an illegal immigrant?
There, because
Exactly.
racial
There'd be
nationalism.
loads of Eastern Europeans who'd be deported too.
But like, we're talking about criminals.
Yes,
I'm like, yes, but they're our people.
they're perfect. They did nothing wrong. Anything that happened to them was systemic racism, as in the society around them made them evil. And so they're terrible crap.
Are they opposing criminal procedure? I thought this guy was getting grumpy that they were being subjected to due process. What? Is this guy like, who said that they shouldn't get criminal convictions?
Crimes of, you know, the Jamaicans who had committed murders and stuff. Well, that's your fault. You're a racist. And this has been well parodied in the Facebook page, The Daily Gondor.
We don't actually know what crime. The Daily Gondor, yeah. That's that kingdom that was rescued by an immigrant wizard who KO'd the fucking steward and took control over the army. Oh god, it's so good. I love it. We should use these more often. Adopt it.
If can you get the post up that I actually got there? In the doc, I replaced that one with a post. It's again shockingly apt because all of leftist rhetoric
All of it.
creates this framework. Mouth of Sauron warns of a backslide in orc rights if Mordor falls.
It's brilliant. Yes, it was. It's been splitting my sides since the year of our Lord 2014. Anno Domini. A bunch of fucking fannies. Just say you think brown people are animals. Just do it. Like,
Of course it does. But anyway, go give
what
David
fucking
Gondor a
cowards? You think? I'm sorry. Excuse me, Sargon. If there was anything I've learned from the collections of J.R.R. Tolkien, it's that courage is the best defense we have now. And why, as a supposed man, are you being so cowardly as to not say what you believe? Gandalf had the courage to warn of the impending threats, whereas you, my friend, are hiding behind this veil of irony and old humor, like a beta male, like a fanny, Carl.
follow. It's really, really funny. And Sauron says trans rights, and so he must be accepted into the Labour Party because he is now a progressive.
If you enjoyed that segment from the podcast, The Lotus Eaters, you can go to lotuseaters.com to subscribe to get access to all the premium content.
Fuck off, cunt. All right, stupid shitbag. Some of the orcs were white, you know. Just saying. Some of the orcs were quite pasty. Fuck, I can't keep up with this guy. Like, it's the one thing I will give Sargon of Akkad is he's very difficult to respond to because his metaphors and his the way he links one completely unrelated concept to another is actually like really difficult to keep up with. It's really hard. Sargon's the kind of guy who would be like, you're showing them the constellations and shit, but they could actually look at the sky and see like a very obvious dinosaur, you know? Like, the way he connects like distinct narratives and completely unrelated concepts is just like, it's a marvel. So it's like if I had this, right? You see, this is Carl's brain, all right? Carl could actually look at this and like, these stars have nothing to do with each other, right? There's nothing. Like, you could maybe take the dense ones here and draw a little line if you wanted to. Like, you know, like a little stretch of the imagination, you could say like here's a little, no wait, that's not that color. Maybe fucking on the brush, not the line. All right, here we go. Yeah, you could do like a little connection here and say that, I don't know, that's a fucking spoon. I don't know. But that's weird enough, right? What Carl's brain is capable of doing is he can just like quite clearly see like, you know, like these, and this is obvious to him. This is like the impression he gets all the time from everything, like every news item, is he can just like and even like in here, you know, he can just make all these connections. I think he might be psychotic. And then, like here, you connect these dots together as well. And for some reason, this is filled in. Actually, just get rid of that. And he can see it, you know? He just sees like extraterrestrial invaders all the time, everywhere. It's an impressive talent. It's also just that he's like mental and he's falling off.